Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone out there. Welcome to the Lone Wolf's Bushcraft Travels morning live stream. Hope you guys and gals are all doing well out there. Thank you. Thank you for watching the live stream. Thank you for tuning in. I'm just waking up. Good morning. Yeah, the rest of my family may still be asleep. Yeah, let's go get some coffee. Oh man. Yeah, so I'm just waking up this morning and yeah, going and getting coffee sounds good. Oh man. Yeah, going and getting coffee sounds really good. So yeah, let's go get some coffee. So more than likely I'll probably so I have two coffee options. I can either go downstairs and make some not only can I make hot not only could I make me some hot coffee down in the Curie, down in the kitchen, I could also make some hot apple cider. Um, for those of you who may not be aware, I'm sure they got Curie coffee makers everywhere. I'll be surprised if Curie coffee is even not. Uh, yeah, I'll be surprised if Curie coffee is just only in the United States. That would kind of surprise me. But anyways, it's the Curie coffee I have. You make one hot beverage. You can make one hot beverage, but I think they make some Keurig coffees where it makes more than just one cup at a time. But the Keurig coffee I have down in the kitchen makes just one cup of hot beverage at a time. You can make hot. I can make hot apple cider. I have the little tiny Keurig container that makes hot apple cider, or I can make hot coffee. Um, I also feel like having one of my cold. I have two favorite cold brew coffees I like. Um, so yeah, I can go down in the kitchen and make either hot apple cider or hot coffee. I also feel like possibly going and grabbing a cold brew from Starbucks. So I have options. So of course at Starbucks I have an array of options. I can get me all kinds of different coffees at Starbucks. And then I could pick me up some breakfast. Or like I said, I can make a hot beverage here. Actually, I can make a cold beverage here too. So I have options this morning. So welcome to the Lone Wolf's Bushcraft Morning Live. If you're new here, don't forget to comment, subscribe. Also hit that notification bell so that each time I live stream, you guys will be able to see my live stream. Another good reason to hit that notification bell is each time I throw up a new video, you guys can get a notification of new content that hits the channel. So, like I said, hope you guys and gals are all doing well out there. And yeah, I need to get up. I'm so comfortable. It's so funny rolling out of bed. Not all of my live streams are like this. uh, I haven't done a live stream like this in a while since usually I'm building a campfire during my live streams, or I do a live stream like this where I'm just waking up and I'm talking to you guys and gals. So, um, yeah, live streams like today is going to be, I call them the live streams on the fly. So yeah, this live stream's definitely on the fly. Oh. Dude. This live stream's definitely on the fly. It's so funny. Fiji water. One of my favorite. This is one of my favorite bottles of water. Fiji water. Not sponsored. uh, Anyways, my favorite bottle of waters. I don't always pick it up, but I love picking it up every once in a while. So that's cool. Fiji water. So it looks like we have overcast skies. So it looks like we have some overcast skies here in Midwest Indiana. Yeah, I'm a Texas boy living here in Midwest Indiana. And I've lived here most of my life here in Midwest Indiana. My dad served in the military, so um, I was pretty much raised by a United States Staff Sergeant in the Marine Corps. So I'm so proud of my dad's service. He served both in the United States Marine Corps and the United States Air Force. And yeah, he was a staff sergeant in the United States Marine Corps. And yeah, my dad's had quite a life. Another thing I'll share with you guys on my live streams is I'll talk a lot about my dad and also my mom. And I don't know, just to kind of give you an insight into my life a little bit. I come from two parents that were very hardworking. My dad's the one that gave me a love for the outdoors. My mom loved being outdoor. My mom was pretty adventurous when my parents first got married. Um, they didn't have a lot of money when they first got married, and yet they still wanted to camp in Colorado. So my parents actually bought sleeping bags and camped under the stars in Colorado. Uh, and Colorado has some really huge areas to park. And yeah, my parents were pretty adventurous getting just sleeping bags and sleeping under the stars without a tent. So I think that's where I get my love of the outdoors is from my parents. And my mom passed away a few years back, um, but she's a pretty amazing lady. So yeah, she's a pretty amazing gal. Um, so yeah, I got my love of the outdoors from my parents, and yeah. Anyways, so I don't know too many ladies that would do that. That would actually follow their husbands into the outdoors and sleep in just sleeping bags. So my mom was that's pretty unusual. You don't, um, yeah, you don't do that very much. That's, uh, that's not common. Definitely not common. So yeah, I'm pretty sure my dad created a my dad also went fishing a lot. And then my dad also took me fishing. And so I have these stories when I was younger, just getting up really, really early before the sun came up. And um, we would go to the bait shop and get worms. Or sometimes we would do it the night before. We'd get our worms the night before. And then we'd get up, me and my dad and my baby brother would get up really, really early before the sun would come up. My dad usually had a cooler already packed with all kinds of food, sandwiches and chips. And of course, we'd have all of our plenty of dozen set of maybe 2 dozen set of worms. And he would take us to various different fishing spots here in Indiana. And like I said, we're getting way or up way early before the sun comes up. And uh, we're probably throwing our fishing lines into the water before literally before the sun's coming up. And early in the morning, as the sun's coming up, we're catching fish. And sometimes we've moved from different spots if we were catching fish really fast. And some of the fish my dad would keep, and then some of the fish my dad would throw back. And then, I learned how to bait my own hook. And, uh, sometimes we put bobbers on the fish. Now, my dad's older brother, according to my dad's older brother, my Uncle Roger, was a really good fly fisherman. So I don't know how many about you are really familiar with fly fishing, but it's really active. You're constantly going like this with your fishing line while you're fly fishing, and some of the fly fishing poles are really, really long. So you're kind of doing this motion, and the on the end of the thing is looks like a little tiny fly. That's why it's called fly fishing. And they come in all kinds of different colors. These fly fish lures, and like I said, it's I've seen people fly fish in beautiful lakes and streams. But anyways, your little tiny fly fish thing, since you're doing this motion all the time, it's constantly moving this thing on top of the water. And like I said, they come in all different colors. These fly fish, you know, lures. And so it's way more active. I mean, you probably feel like you're getting a workout since you're going like this with your fishing pole. um, so that's kind of fishing my Uncle Roger did. I never got to see my dad fly fish, but I'm sure when he went out with his older brother, he probably fly fished with my Uncle Roger. And from what I understand, my dad told me that my Uncle Roger was a very good fly fisherman. So um, I can't imagine. My dad's older brother probably has all kinds of stories. Um, but since I'm talking about fishing stories, um, this one head coach of my summer league, I had this high school summer league baseball coach who would go up to Michigan and fish. And this guy was not only a really good fisherman, my head coach, summer league high school baseball coach, he would people would place orders because they know he would catch a lot of fish, and they know he was really good at frying up the fish. And I don't know what kind of seasoning he was using, but it was really, really good. And he would catch so much fish up in Michigan that people would kind of place orders and ask him to bring back some of that fish from Michigan that's all nice and fried up. And um, I don't recall him charging people for the fish that he caught and frying up. I never heard anyone say he charged them, but it was really good. It was really good fish. It was really, really. The seasoning was amazing, and like I said, he would tell his friends and family. My summer league high school baseball coach, he would actually tell his friends and family when he's going fishing up in Michigan. So, um, so yeah, different stuff like that has made me have a love for the outdoors. So, and then my brother, he still goes with a group of guys in June to go fishing. So my brother has a love for the outdoors. Um, I go camping, but my little immediate family's not into camping. When I go camping, I sleep out in a tent. I'm comfortable. I mean, I got I think I lay down 2 or 3 sleeping pads before I throw my winter sleeping bag on top of it. And so there's plenty of cushion there. So 2 or 3 sleeping bags. I'm sorry, 2 or 3 sleeping pads I'll throw down. First, I'll set up my tent. So I'll set up a tent. I'll set up my hammock. I usually bring 2 stacks of wood for my campfire, and I'll set up my camp chair. I usually have a cooler stuffed of food and drinks. So I usually pick my favorite food and drinks. I think last time I brought chicken wraps. So I brought this grilled chicken and was able to make quick chicken wraps last time I went camping. And I usually bring my favorite chocolates. I think I brought that particular camping trip. I think I brought Snickers bars for that trip. Uh, and I want to say about 30 yards. I want to say Modern Restrooms are about 30 yards away from my campsite. And usually the campsite I pick in Brown County is, and Brown County State Parks where I usually go camping at. And I want to say my campsite that I usually pick out is about 30 yards away from the modern restrooms and showers. And so I don't start my campfire until it gets about dusk. The sun the sun hasn't quite gone down yet, but I usually have my campfire set up ready to go to light. Uh, now I can lately I've been enjoying lighting my campfires with a ferro rod and a cotton ball. So what I'll do is I'll fluff up some cotton balls. I'll fluff them up really good, and I'll put them all over the starting wood that I'm going to use for my campfire. And it's usually some thin logs of the hardwood that I got ready to go. Hey, what's up? What's happening, David's Island Life Adventures? So, so yeah, I got hardwood kindling ready to go in my campfire. I usually fluff up my cotton balls, and then I get out my ferro rod, and usually the sun's setting, and then I light my campfire. And then once I get my campfire going, I then usually break out my food, which was the grilled chicken wraps. And yeah, I'm just listening to the crackle of the fire and enjoying my chicken wraps. Yeah, the kind of camping I do, I call it car camping. So you're not, so when you car camp, you're not limited in any kind of weight. There's when you car camp, you can take all your favorite camping tools, your favorite tent. So when you car camp, you're basically throwing all your stuff that you want to take with you for camping. So there's no real weight limit when you car camp. And um, it's so funny. This last time I went camping, and I believe I believe I got a, I yeah, I believe I shared this in my camping video the last time I went car camping, and it's so funny. Um, so yeah, so sunset, the fire's going. I'm enjoying my grilled chicken wraps. I usually take two stacks of. I think that trip I took two stacks of birchwood logs, and that usually lasts me all the way into the night. And um, sometimes I listen to music, and then sometimes I just want to hear the crackling of the campfire while I'm enjoying my meal. And then I let the fire burn down to like 2 or 3 in the morning. And once my campfire got down to red hot ambers, I think it was about 2:30 in the morning. I recorded a. I think my campfire's getting, like I said, it got down to hot ambers, and I actually caught this on my YouTube video. I caught a deer calling out to another deer in the woods. I believe I said on that video, "Wow, that's worth the price of admission." Meaning, because I had paid admission into this Brown County State Park to go camp, and so that was really cool. Um, so yeah, once the fire burned down to hot embers, I hiked about 30 yards, which isn't far at all. It's about the length, 30 yards of a football field length to uh, to the modern restrooms and showers. So I took me a hot shower and then dried all off and headed back to my campsite and got to climb in a nice sleeping bag without smelling like a campfire smoke. And I thought I was going to sleep in, right? Because my campsite, uh, I was, I went to that campsite kind of late, and I only was able to camp for one night. But I did that. I knew I had the campsite till 2 in the afternoon, and I was planning on sleeping in, man. And I caught this on my YouTube video. Uh, these birds are making all kinds of sounds about 6 in the morning, and here I thought I was going to sleep in, right? And so I unzip my tent and I look up into the tree canopy, and I'm surrounded by a bunch of trees that's at my campsite. So I look up into the tree canopy and I hear nothing but birds just making a bunch of sound, right? And so I close my tent and I try to uh, close my eyes. I try to fall back to sleep. And I still keep hearing these birds chatter in the canopy in the woods here. I tried to go back to sleep, just could not go back to sleep. So I laid there. I still laid there for a while. And then after I laid there a while and realized I was not going back to sleep, I got out of my sleeping bag. I started building a campfire again. Uh, the night before, I did my campfire in the solo stove bonfire. And then, so in the morning, I cleaned it all up, my solo stove bonfire, packed it away. And then I used the campfire ring to build the second campfire in the morning. I used the campsite's fire ring. Some of you may not be familiar with those. It's usually like a rusted stainless steel on the ground. Most campsites are like that, and there's a little bit of air just under the steel ring of most of the, at least in Brown County State Park. It's a and the reason it's steel and it's usually kind of red, they kind of stain it with some kind of red paint. And like I said, there's this much under it, so the oxygen is feeding your campfire when you start a campfire in the campsite's fire ring there. And so I set up my morning campfire, and once I got that going, and of course I was capturing this on my YouTube channel. Um, so once I got that morning campfire going, I started uh, making my breakfast, which was a grilled chicken wrap sandwich. So so I'm sitting there in my camp chair, enjoying my campfire, and enjoying my grilled chicken wrap sandwich. And I think I packed up because I had that campsite till 2 in the afternoon. But I think I had everything packed up around noon, and I was going to go hiking, but I decided to drive out of Brown County State Park, and I think I went to the nearest McDonald's and probably picked up a quarter pounder with cheese and large fry and large Coke. So I'm driving back home, and that's how I ended my camping trip that day. So I usually either go to McDonald's or I go to Burger King or any hamburger joint, and I'll pick myself up a cheeseburger and a large fry and a large Coke. That's how I usually end my camping trips. Sometimes I've ended my camping trips, or sometimes I ended my hikes in Brown County by stopping off at the Chocolate Moose, and I'll either get me a banana split or I'll get me some kind of chocolate sundae. I've ended outdoor days like that, so that's a lot of fun. But and like I said, I don't know. For some people, they consider it you're roughing it if you're sleeping on some sleeping pads in a tent. I don't consider it roughing it at all. So, but some people do. Some people, if they're gonna go enjoy the outdoors, they'll actually go rent a cabin, and you actually can do that. You can rent small cabins in Brown County State Park in case sleeping under a tent is not your thing. Um, Now, my parents were more adventurous than I was. I have never gone camping where I've never slept in a tent. I've never done the camping thing where I've never done tarp camping either. I don't know if you guys are familiar with tarp camping. You can set your tarp up in all kinds of configurations. You can set it up in an A-frame. Uh, you can actually set your tarp to where it almost looks like a tent. You can do that too. Like I said, I've never done the tarp camping. Um, so yeah, there's all kinds of different ways you can set up your tarp and do tarp camping. So yeah, I think I've seen a lot of bushcrafters do that. Uh, yeah. There's there's plenty of bushcrafters where you can, or if you type in sleeping under a tarp, you can see all kinds of YouTube videos of bushcrafters who've slept under the stars in a tarp. Um, I prefer sleeping in a tent. I think, I don't know, that's just my thing. I love sleeping in a tent when I camp. Um, I'm sure the tarp is really cool. Of course, I have a winter sleeping bag, and most people set up a really nice hot fire so that once the fire burns down, you still get the warmth of the fire while you're falling asleep under a tarp. But anyways, that's not my thing. My thing would be to sleep in a tent. So, but my favorite bushcraft thing to do is to build a campfire. I absolutely love building campfires. It's my favorite. Um, I do know how to build a shelter, but I prefer not to fall asleep in a shelter. But if I had to, I could build a debris shelter that's made up of sticks and leaves. If you're building a shelter, though, you got to make sure, um, especially before you go lay in that shelter, you got to push all kinds of leaves at the bottom where you're going to lay down. And I think what's recommended is at least 3 inches of leaves. So you may want to double that, put 6 inches of leaves inside your shelter. Because as soon as you crawl into your shelter, you're going to compress all those leaves down. Basically, the reason you're putting a layer between you and the earth is so um, the heat from your body. Because if you don't do that, if you climb in a shelter that has no leaf debris that you're going to lay on, the ground is literally going to pull all the heat from your body and you're going to get super, super cold. Um, so, yeah, some people who go hiking, they will actually pack like two 50-gallon trash bags in their backpack, and this is so they can put a bunch of leaves in their two 50-gallon black trash bags, stuff in as much leaves as you can in those two 50-gallon trash bags, and then when you lay down on the two 50-gallon trash bags, you have something between you and the ground. So yeah, if you end up sleeping under the stars and you're not in a tent, it's good to have the 250-gallon trash bags with you. uh, Also, having a small tarp's not bad packed away in your pack. So, in case you had to build a quick stretch. The neat thing about a tarp, though, or you can backpack also a very small tent in your backpack in case you don't want to mess with building a tarp shelter. But yeah, it's probably not a bad idea to have when you go hiking. It's probably not a bad idea to have a small tent you can set up in your backpack or at least a tarp. So, in case an emergency you had to build a quick shelter, you could. So, that's cool. Um, and yeah, you can watch all kinds of YouTube videos on how to do all the different configurations of a tarp. And then there's even one way where you can literally turn a tarp to look like a tent, like an A-frame tent, which is really cool. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, the kind of camping I like, my immediate family would not be into, which is sleeping pads and sleeping bags and sleeping in a two or three person tent. Of course, if I had my wife and daughter with me, I'm sleeping in like a 6 person tent. So if you got 3 people with you, I would recommend a 6 or 7 person tent. Um, Whenever you go look to buy tents, you'll see it'll tell you how many person. Like 1 person tent definitely is for 1 person. 2 person tent is probably really for 3 people. 4 person tent is probably really for 5 people. but I probably would only, in a 5-person tent, I probably would only put 3 people. In a 6-person tent, I would probably only put 3 people because not only do you, because if you look at the tent, a lot of tents, they'll have, regardless of whether you buy 1-person, 2-person, 3-person, 4-person, 5-person tent, or even a 6, 7, or 8-person tent. And they do make 9-person tents as well. When you look at, and it usually has a diagram of what the layout of your tent floor is going to look at, right? And let's take an example of 6-person tent. It shows 6 people all, and they're all right next to each other, right? And so basically, whenever they give you that 6-person tent, that's about the max. And you can only fit the 6 people in there. You're forgetting about the rest of those 6 people who have gears and backpacks. So, like I said, if it's a 6-person tent, I'm only putting 3 people in there. And because not only are you putting 3 people in a 6-person tent, you got to remember those 3 people may have backpacks and gear on them. So, um, yeah, don't go camping with 6 people and think you're going to be set uh, with just a 6-person tent. So, if I had 6 people camping with me, I would actually get a 12-person tent. So that way, the 6 people, and including all their gear, because all those 6 people may be carrying backpacks. So if you're 6 people going on a camping adventure, I would recommend a 12-person tent. So that way, all 6 of you could fit in there, and including all your gear. So, yeah, a lot of people don't think about that, or if they're not looking at the diagram. If you look at the diagram, it'll show, like in the case of a 6-person tent, if you look at the diagram, they usually have a picture layout, and it usually shows those 6 people just stacked up on each other. Not on each other, but stacked up side by side to show you can actually fit 6 people in a 6-person tent. What they don't tell you is, yes, you can fit 6 people in that tent, but there's no way, especially if all 6 people are carrying a backpack, there's no way their gear's getting in there with them too. The only way it makes it in, the only way 6 people get their gear in with them is at 6 people in a 12-person tent. Then you have room for your gear. Um, yeah, I just wanted to really stress that to you guys enough, because I think, um, yeah, most people, when they want to go camping, they're going to bring gear with them. So, um, and you're just more comfortable. Like in the case of me, uh, I do not own one single person tent. I don't, there, all the tents I have when I go camping are either a 2-person, 3-person, or 6-person tent. And I'm camping by myself. Uh, the smallest number, yeah, the smallest tent I have is a 2-person tent. I don't go smaller than that. So even a 1-person should at least get a 2-person tent. So it's you have room for yourself and also your gear. And of course, if you go to a 3-person tent for just yourself, you have a little more luxury and you can bring a little more gear. So, but yeah, if there's 2 of you and you both each have gear, uh, the smallest tent you should get would be a 3-person tent for 2 of you. Uh, if you want a little bit more extra room and you're both camping, you get a 4-person tent. So, um, so depending on how much gear you're going to bring, uh, would probably help you with your tent size. So, and when I go camping, I want to be comfortable. And if I'm bringing myself and 2 other people, like say there's 3 of us, let's say it's me and 2 other people are going camping with me. So that means there's 3 of us. I'm more than likely going to get a 6-person tent. Um, if I want some smaller than that, I would probably take 3 of us and maybe a 5-person tent. Uh, yeah. So I really double up the tent size. So once again, if it's a 6-person camping trip, I'm getting a 12-person tent. I'm almost doubling. Uh, so yeah, as you can see, I did that with the 3-person camping scenario. 3-person tent should probably really get a 6-person tent. So yeah, if you got 3 people camping, make sure you buy a 6-person tent. That's wild. Anyways, I have a great love of the outdoors, and hope you guys. And it's Friday morning here, and hope you guys have a good Friday. And yeah, hope you have a good Friday morning. Hope the rest of your Friday goes well. I also hope you guys and gals have a awesome weekend. And I'll talk to you guys later. And for those of you who may come across this live stream or who may rewatch this live stream, and you're new to the channel, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And also hit that notification bell so that each time new content comes to the channel, you'll get a notification. Anyways, it really helps out the channel. Thank you to my subscribers who've been here a really long time. I appreciate you. And thanks to all of you who are new subscribers as well. Thank you to my new subscribers. Thank you for those of you who viewed my content and who've not subscribed to the channel. That does help the channel, but if you really want to help this channel out, please make sure you drop a like, comment, and subscribe. Really helps out the channel. It also helps out with the YouTube algorithm. The more people who like and who comment on the channel, it shows YouTube an engagement, and then it also pushes those videos up for that engagement on YouTube. So yeah, I can't stress enough. There's a lot of you who watch my channel and just have not yet subscribed to the Lone Wolf's Bushcraft Travels channel here. Um, so yeah, it does help out my channel if you like, comment, and subscribe. Anyways, so thankful to all my subscribers. Hope you guys have an awesome Friday out there. And I also hope you have an awesome weekend. So I'll talk to you later. Peace. Cheers. Later, Gators. Take care. Peace. Have a good one. Take care, everybody. Cheers. Later, Gators.